about how Twitter is the death of wonder. I've been thinking about how our institutions, particular academic institutions, push particular narratives. And if people don't adhere to those narratives, they have some kind of sanction or punishment or diversity office, weaponized against them. And I've been thinking about what we need to start the process of coming together again and go into context. I remember right after 9/11, it was the craziest feeling, man. It was like everybody was nice to each other. It's like people would let each other into traffic. It was the weirdest feeling. And I wondered how long that would last. And it didn't last very long. But how do you recapture that? And I think that the one way forward is that we have to stop looking at each other through the lens of race and gender and sexual orientation. And we have to start looking at each other from the lens of common humanity. And that's what that's what FAIR does, a Foundation Against Tolerance of Racism on their advisory board. We have to start thinking about each other as people who share common problems, people who are just trying to get through the day. I mean, what did it take us? 20 minutes to get this podcast up and running because my dogs are lunatics. Like everybody has their own shit to deal with,
Yeah.
And
sorry, were you gonna finish the thought there? I mean, this kind, like what you're saying is, I think, quite accurate, and something you were talking about in the beginning there was this view of everything as through the lens of power. And then you've also mentioned like the view of everything through, everyone has to announce their like gender, race, identity,
pronouns,
to have, I don't know, it's like acknowledgement of the things you can't change, which always seemed weird to me, because I thought those were the things that we weren't meant to care about. That's, I don't know. It's just some of the stuff that goes on. It really, because I'm having this happen a lot with a lot of things, is that the stuff we were taught in school, and I'm not that like the beard helps, but and the slightly receding hairline, but like it's not even 10 years since I got out of like what you would have like high school or whatever, up to 18, and all of the stuff that I got told was like, these are the things that we're meant to like value. These are the things that like are meant to be the foundations of society. Like human and civil rights, civil liberties, like the way we interact with each other, like the moral code, like respect for institutions, like I don't know, debate, like freedom of speech mainly is the one that I'm concerned about more than anything. Like the things I learned in history classes, like, look, this is how you get tyranny and dystopia. Like, don't let governments get way too much power and all these things. It's like, fair enough. Like, I might not be right about them, but it feels like I'm the only one going, or at least one of the few people that I can see in my circle of people that I interact with daily going, why have all the things we got taught just suddenly evaporated? And like, there's been this really weird, like, turnaround in I don't know, how our entire culture views all of the foundations of the society. Does this make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense. And my speculation, this is the first time I've ever spoken, and obviously don't know any of your friends, but my speculation is a lot more people have questions than are willing to publicly admit those questions, to voice their, what is going on? This is insane. But the problem is that there's an atmosphere of fear right now where people are afraid to discuss this, particularly if they're white people, because they're afraid of being accused of things. And so we have a situation in which we have a very small, I would guess at 8% of the population, and I didn't just pluck that number out of the air, a very small, hyper vocal minority of people who are attempting to create a culture of fear to prevent people from having conversations, and it's just nastiness and ugliness. But I think so many people are voicing the concerns that you have. So many people have them, but they're just not voicing them.
Thanks for making it all the way to the end of the podcast. Don't forget our sponsor, ExpressVPN, and my book, Brexit, The Establishment Civil War, can both be found in the links in the description below. And also, please like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. It's the best way to help us grow. Until next time, thanks for listening. screw the hedge funds.
You can make as many rules as you want, but if there's no teeth behind them, what's the point?
Well, like Citadel is potentially just gone in a few months. It feels like financial institutions, that they are all laughing at us by buying GME. Screw the hedge funds. Like, I will lose my entire investment if it brings them down.
Why on earth, last May, could you buy the entire company for $200 million?
What's been happening on Reddit and in social media and in the marketplace has never been seen before.
I argue that nothing is off the table. There is nothing off the table when dealing with the volumes of money in something as big as the United States stock market.
The hedge funds have clearly underestimated a group of people raised on Friday night World of Warcraft raids.
Dark pools, they're another mechanism to manipulate and cheat. Mainstream journalists don't say these things for a number of reasons. One is their sources are the people that I'm talking about, and so they can't call somebody a crook.
Superstonk and the other communities that have emerged are a hive mind, the likes of which we have never seen before. It's madness and brilliance, insanity and genius all rolled into one. It's very possible that Citadel will be gone in a few months. And not just Citadel, but the entire financial system has the potential to come crashing down. These crooks continue to gamble recklessly with the world economy, and this could be the moment that they finally get their justice.